Okay, today's stories. People stealing stuff from me. So one time I had this green Haro that I bought in Colorado Springs when I was on a parole violation. I was put in a halfway house, which I think is still doing prison time. So I don't know, you can hit that up in the comment section. So I finished my 6 months at the halfway house and I go back to Grand Junction. I go to a bar. Right, it was a hopping bar because I couldn't smoke weed, but I could drink alcohol, and I'm not a big alcoholic, but I would drink, a couple beers just to go associate with people because I couldn't smoke weed. So they're trying to make me an alcoholic. The back of the bar, where the kegs are, because I had a friend that worked there, I put my Haro. Now, it was only like a $280 bicycle, so I wouldn't really imagine somebody trying to steal it. I put it in the back of the bar. I play some shuffleboard. I'm gonna leave. My bike is gone. I'm like, what the fuck? Who steals my bike from inside the business? Is that what you call an inside job? It wasn't outside, it was inside. So, a couple weeks later, I meet this guy. This guy's like, oh, I know of the bike you're talking about. Hang out over here. I'll make a couple phone calls. They're gonna bring you back your bike. I said, all right. So, I was watching when I was told not to watch. You just made me want to watch. That's what you say when you say, hey, don't watch down the street over there. Well, now I'm going to watch. So they come back on this BMX bicycle with my bike. They had stripped everything out of the bike. All the bearing cups, all the brackets, everything was stripped out. They gave me some fucked up forks, stripped threads, stripped bolts. Doesn't even fit into the front of the bike because they took the cups out, so the forks are just dangling around. So I said, okay, if you came from that direction of town turns into fields, so all I gotta do is do some late night roaming. So I do some late night roaming, and I find this house in the middle of the night with like 200 BMX bicycles in the backyard, 100 BMX bicycles in the shed, I could see it through the window, a couple BMX bicycles in the front yard. So I'm like, this is obviously the house. They were awake. So I come back a couple days later. There was this Standard. This is a really nice bicycle, it's what it's called. I gaffled it. Part 2. Finding the bike thieves. So, I find this yard. This is the second day I come back now that I had located the house. I come back at 3:30 in the morning when they should be all asleep. And there's this really nice Standard in the front yard. And a Standard's like $600, right? My little Haro was like $280. So I hijack the Standard. I ride off on it. It had this really cool little European bracket. It had Chris King hubs in the back of it. Like, ching ching, this bike was not cheap, right? Way more expensive than my bike. And so I go back to my bike. I take everything off that bike. I take the cups out of that bike. I take the bearings out of that bike. I take the pedals. I took the crank. I took the crank arms. I took the tires. I took the handlebars. I took the forks. But I had to buy a Standard to European bracket to put the European bracket inside my American Standard crank. So now I'm like, all right, one up. I have just found a stolen bike in 2 weeks, which is practically impossible finding a bike that was stolen. It's really like 1 in a million. So now I go to San Francisco with my Haro. I took it on the Amtrak, the Grey Goose from Grand Junction, San Francisco. For a month in San Francisco, I've been riding around on this bike with no brakes because I didn't have any brakes because the Standard didn't have any brakes for some reason. They just didn't like brakes. So I go down to SE bicycles on Valencia, and I go buy these gold colored. God, I fucking hate that shit, dude. Quit adding music or whatever to the background. Fucking up my content. So, like, why do you steal my bike? The 28 days later, I'm about to go back to Colorado because I had a job. I was a Vietnamese restaurant manager, and I started taking like couple week breaks to go to San Francisco, go hustle up some nuggets. Is this recording? I don't think this is. Oh my God, it's not working. Okay, it's working. I don't know if it caught whatever I was just saying. So let's just get into part 3. I go back to Colorado. A couple weeks later. All right, part 3. I go back to Colorado for a couple weeks. I tell my boss, yo, I'm going back to San Francisco, go hustle up some more money, because my job was only paying me like $225 every 2 weeks, and I was having fun taking Amtrak to San Francisco, selling drugs, and then going back to live in Colorado. People thought I was living in the city, but I was actually living in Colorado. So I'm in the city. It's been about a month since my bike was stolen, and my friend's like, yo, Mushroom, take me over to the Tenderloin with me. Let's go to Tenderloin. I'm going to go on a pill run. You know, he wants me to come along because I'm bigger, I'm white, I got my baseball cap sideways, I got BMX gloves, you know, I don't look like a junkie, so they're probably not going to try to rob you with me there, because, you know, I ain't going to let that shit happen. I ate a bunch of acid before I went to the Tenderloin, too, because, you know, I'm like, why not? If I'm going to go roam around the Tenderloin while you're trying to get high, I might as well be high. All of a sudden, I see this dude in the Tenderloin on my bicycle. I'm like, hey, that's my bike. He's like, big trigger guy, oh, I paid for it. And I said, I don't give a fuck. I got the receipt right here in my pocket. I was like, look at that back seat. Look how it's sewn with dental floss. That's how you know it was mine. Was hit by a minivan and creamed. I had to stitch that shit back together. I was like, oh, you took the front forks off. You took the front tires off. You changed the handlebars. You took most of my Grateful Dead stickers off, but you left the dead, but you took the Grateful sticker off. The gold brakes with the green pads were still there. The color of the bike was still there. I could not believe that I had found this bike 2 times, 2 different cities, 2 different states. Neither time was I really looking for it. I just happened to be talking to somebody the first time, and then the second time I was on a pill run with my friends in the Tenderloin, and I didn't even really care at this point in time. I was just more stoked to break the odds of finding something that was stolen twice, a bicycle, which is the hardest thing to find if it was ever stolen. Twice. I found the same olive green Haro twice. So that's the story. I had another video, but Instagram started blabbering in the background, and then when I tried to exit the video, it deleted my content, and I can never tell the story as good as I did the first time, because it took up a whole 3 minutes the first time.